Hello, dear Gerald Celente and Judge Napolitano. If you could hear this, even if you hear it and they're going to start adapting by changing and faking things in databases. These are people with all the religious spots and names next to it: Catholic spots, a born again Christian spot, you know, other versions of it, and Jewish themed and Muslim themed, fake passions and emotions about religions too. Roles with child abusers, leaders of kids years apart, and further with the schools. There are more teachers involved with this who are pretending fake things in databases, but and they wouldn't stay victim predators, hyper predators. They wouldn't stay fake if people will get on paper. They're changing it. They're faking conversations with me. When I caught them with a principal child abuser with worse than they put him in jail for, they forced that by charging me with harassment and using that to pretend we had communications just because I called up there. They never even let me speak. They kept making confessions, confirmations, calling back and leaving more messages and more fake things and confessions again. And I never got to speak. And then they used the phenomenon how it was all these phone calls to pretend it was other. They hid bad things too. What I actually did say with the few words I got through. That's a crime method they have with the campuses and their rules with these subject treatments and actors and comedians and the sports players and the news stealing my identity. WFSB attached me to fake conversations with them and about the World Trade Center attack. These are some Jewish themed too, highly Jewish themed syntax natures with my neighbors on all sides of my house, involved with the other religious spots, nutbags on all sides of I don't even know the guy's name. I believe he had a daughter in my grade too. I never saw her around school. Increasingly names on all sides of that born again Christian place. And there are people with other religious places, even especially if they're intelligence families, like the ones with a DeMoro family. They have one of those Jehovah's Witnesses. They have Jehovah's Witnesses people, recorded, confessed, demonstrated, involved with the child offenders and people with the name Scalora, with the World Trade Center attack, and with Saudi attackers that Wethersfield police had collusion with, also with people on Valleycrest Street through time. All kinds of natures of identity theft, fraud, slanders, and people pretending passions and emotions that can't get the heck on paper because they've been roles of predicate acts with facts, real evil. No wonder they have people. You can't even tell what's anything's real to you. It's against the law. The guy from Pawn Stars, all of a sudden he's got all these bodies under his thing. Is that real or what? In other words, they shouldn't be stealing our identities with nudes. And the mandated law is to not change and fake what we say. The Wethersfield police chiefs retired, more than one police chief. They have collusions with all kinds of natures of evidences, racketeering, and natures of methods of organized crimes. So much so that it's recorded consciously. They know to an extent that criminal enterprises and terrorists are being and have been grouped wrongly. But they don't care because they have a title, and that's what everyone says, well, that's my job, and it's not my job to do that. But they're thinking anyway, and they're going to fake and change what we say when we mention predicate acts. So Connecticut's Channel 3 News has World Trade Center predicate acts after it that show that their roles recorded with people named DeMoro, Scalora, Kerr. Others I don't even know the names of, intercities with the town lines too. And these are Marines. With the Marines, Air Force, Navy, and Army too, I believe is involved. In other words, Central Connecticut State University in New Britain, Connecticut, increasingly has foreign and domestic intelligence and interbranch family members involved with federal evidences, racketeering, worse than war crimes, and wire and mail crime acts and methods. And you guys are not following mandated law. I begged and begged on Judge Napolitano's quest for them to get on paper. They will not. I can't call them on the phone. They fake and change what's recorded with the phones. And with the former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, his co-defendants and their family members, intercities and interstates involved with the World Trade Center attack, intercities involved with the campuses with predicate acts with facts, identity theft, fraud, sequence ships. They have some black, white, KKK, Latino theme, Confederate flag theme, planting evidence on all sides of my house with the interbranch involved with the fake conversation with me at the police station, totally made up, and put fake transcripts when I was a kid and then as an adult. Sickly distinctly, but sickly non-distinctly too. I didn't have one word of any with any officer at Wethersfield Police Station when I was an adult too. They stole a sentence I said to my Saudi friend there. No, we're not even friends anymore because of that. Partially, the same people increasingly tied to these Mendez brothers involved too. Next to Fox Connecticut News with some Domain brothers, with some Jewish-themed child abuses rules, organized crimes rules, with a Riley family, further with the Board of Education too, and sexual and medical offenders in my area tied to them. And she repeated confessions about my neighbor. I never even met, I never even saw her. In other words, who is a female. Other people recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed. Miss Riley and Mike Domain are also next to Fox Connecticut News, also with co-defendants, the former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, who also recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed, and non-verbally she did it. Allison Mulcahy, she has roles with Mike Domain and Adam Domain and their families with interstates. They have roles with people with DACA and like with Colorado don't too, and with identity theft, fraud, slanders with some prosecutors and judges. One's named Leahy, and people that he right when I walked in the room at the community center, he was jumping off the stage, like he pretending he got. Or no, I watched like I walked off the stage and pretending he got hypnotized, and he was like all flustered, and ran into the bathroom when I was walking by it. They've been planting evidences and making people see it, put fake ties, fake natures of ties to me with a Mike Domain. His neighbors are involved with as a Mazzucato family, as people involved as intimate ties with retired police chiefs and their families. There's reportedly Jessica Cintron, who's involved with the police chief Cintron, who's with police making confessions about him. And their roles with, they just keep talking in town offices. They're hiding and changing, faking digital evidences. They have criminally foreign influence readings of statutes and precedents. Also, the families and other natures of conjunctions to mayors involved with criminally foreign influence readings of statutes and precedents and exceptions. And exception nature on a mass scale, they have been preventing writing at courts so they can fake and change things. They've been fake using the court's ability to force people there as means to cover up how they've been stacking predicate acts with facts in those courts. New Britain Superior Court and Hartford Court has many people involved with intelligence families that used to live near me and where they went to school, and their educators that were in classes with them, attaching media identity theft, fraud, slanders, and the roles of wire crime acts and methods, including with a game that's not even a real wire crime, stuff, a game they call telephone, that DeSimone, Denise DeSimone, and others with Newington Police Department, Wethersfield the Police Department, New Britain's Police Department, Rock Hill Police Department, and even Sandy Hook has roles with people on my street named Cololo and O'Brien through time, involved with identity theft frauds with a police chief, Cintron, and intimatized reportedly of another police chief before them at 80 Hill Drive, where the house they moved into, reportedly from a house near where the corrections offices is. And they recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed. Also, they have collusions with a Joe DeMoro, with a Ray Claw next to the corrections office, also with people involved with home break-ins, and with a girlfriend he shared with other people. And he went out of the way to pretend like he didn't like the other person because of that, a Mike Kerr. And then together they were making confessions about that and pretend other. And they were used that confession to make fake ties to me. They trick you to be next to them, so and then they pretend that you're friends with them and stuff like that. They plant evidences like a Judge Smith, and there are other judges more recently involved, like a Judge Killian is involved with sexual and medical offenders of kids, and tactically delusions wrought, putting fake things in databases at Hartford Hospital with the Slahy family, also with a whole bunch of people tied to a Colo and O'Brien family with identity theft, fraud, slanders, and the ones at the Wethersfield Police Station attaching me to fake conversations with them as a kid and I was an adult. These are also ones next to Fox Connecticut News in Hartford, Connecticut, like these Mendez police and the Domains. And there's an Alston Mulcahy, people all along Hangdog Lane and Two Rod Highway and its conjunctions, recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed all kinds of natures of federal evidences, crimes, and organized crimes with kids. and foreign with new written Superior Court, other courts, people at the state judicial branch offices, increasingly with people next to the state capitol and at it, tied to like and the campuses, including Harvard Hospital, like with a Violet family and others next to the state capitol, at the state capitol involved with identity theft, fraud, slander. Check Casper. I never had a word of conversation, never saw him around campuses. He's involved with people all along Route 175 and its conjunctions with former mayors, involved with like putting people and lying about how they get next to each other, lying about what came first, putting fake ties, fake natures of ties between people per method that if anyone tries to go back and speak about the past, honestly, all these strangers jump in and put fake things, evidences, and interbranch, they start trying to set you up. It's recorded. You guys have followed mandated law. You guys are predicate acts with facts. You guys are using Israel's name as fake sites, as a shell game. And you guys are better than that. Please follow mandated law. Don't change it, fake what I say. And get me off the fake conversations with Channel 3 News, WFSB. These are the ones also next to in Rocky Hill, Connecticut. These are the ones also next to the Fox Connecticut News, also with co-defendants, the former director of the FBI, Robert L. Luskin, right before a 2006 district court case. Thaddeus Grabowski demonstrated, recorded, confessed, confirmed. He has roles with Allison Mulcahy, who non-verbally recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed. Collusions. I don't know if she must know to an extent. I don't know. But Mike DeMaine repeated sexual things about her and why he had a tent out to have sex with her in front of a whole bunch of people at Rick C. and Fagliano's house. To me, I did not respond to it. I don't even know their names. That was a Rick C. and Fagliano sought me out to make a fake exception of knowing me. He recorded, confessed, demonstrated, confirmed that he'd been influenced to that by people with New Britain Superior Court, Connecticut's District Court. He didn't say that. I know like Brian Silver, and he said a Leahy family. I never had a Leahy family fake conversations with me into the databases at Harvard Hospital with people at New Britain Superior Court and the Connecticut's District Court. Also involved with predicate acts with Hartford courts, family members, judges, prosecutors, and their sources, and some Hunter police, some guy who says his name is Hunter, with the police, who's on off Central Connecticut State University, with Dean Judd and his family members, with overt criminal enterprises, private ones, proven and further recorded child abusers, leaders of the kids, forced their roles with DCF investigators with abuses of kids and other natures of organized crime. And while they're asking questions to other people, like they asked me questions about Sammy Vega's mother, someone from the boxing gyms. And then right at Central Connecticut State University, he's involved with my fifth grade teacher, Mr. Abruzzi, with confessions of some guy I didn't even know. I didn't even respond to the guy. In other words, and then a Ray Hernandez asked me about if I knew him. Right after that, the other girl was making confessions at my neighbor, who's also involved with Gail King and with another boyfriend at the similar time. And so no one can be honest about those things. And her other boyfriend was one of the ones that runs the prisons. See, Central Connecticut State University trains people to run prisons, but these are also Navy, Air Force, Marines. In other words, Army, involved in intercities with identity theft, fraud, slander. There's a sixth grade teacher that was not my teacher. They made a fake exception a couple of times to have us go over there because he had a crime to do with mold, tricking kids to put mold to grow it on bread and then put fake things in databases. They stack. These are Jewish themed people doing this too. There's a former Mayor Gold with a Debbie Gold and a Lee Gold involved with some Jewish themed confessions and demonstrations of people before and after, in my third grade class, fourth grade class, fifth grade class, sixth grade class. I got along with everybody. And when I was in second grade, there was times there was bullying of me. I didn't know the people's names and stuff like that. You know, and I didn't want to go back. I remember when I didn't go to the school and I found out they had an Earth Day. That was the first time they had an Earth Day. It must have been something to do with those same people. Yeah, you know, I forget them. Those are people in the background increasingly involved with all natures of investigations. Investigators being and having been used remotely, criminally, foreign influence, tactically, delusions, raw. Then shown they need to hide that. Increasingly, there are people with the name Perone and Kerr with a St. Anthony's Church next to Hartford Hospital. They recorded, confessed, demonstrate, confirm with intimate ties to them. They have intimate ties to themselves. A Danielle Perone and a Tom Perone pretend they know me. And their neighbors involved with that. Also with something to do with their roles with a football coach who was also like a gym teacher. Now, these are people putting fake things and changing the value of things into databases with their families, too, with the schools. Identity theft, fraud, slanders. They pretend they had conversations. They repeat fake things. And as evidence is racketeering worse than war crimes, that country's A through Z, though. And so Fox Connecticut News, WTNH, and WFSB are recorded involved with extortion of me. And with the exceptions, they're pretending not to realize. They should get with the interbranches too. The interbranch won't get onto paper on a mass scale. They have all kinds of stacking predicate acts with facts as collusion /S with people next to each one of the campuses I went to, with people that were putting fake and change ties and natures of ties to me and other people and themselves into databases. Or Ray Reynolds with the kindergarten class I went to has a Joe DeMoro, John DeMoro, and Paul DeMoro involved with crimes with databases and with phones, with police forms, and with courts, and with foreign bodies, and with people next to Hartford Hospital, involved at Hartford Hospital with identity theft, fraud, slanders, and while tactically delusions raw. You just need to follow mandated law the way as you were told, and everything would have been cleaned up because it would have showed you guys are sick. Right on the state judicial branch offices and all natures of conjunctions to it, like Route 3, which goes by it. All along Route 3, a whole bunch of people directly and indirectly tied to the educators up. And as the people that were in my grammar school that I never had a class with, they're putting fake ties and fake nature ties to people. And with the ones in the class, they're putting fake communications for everyone by other people from off the campuses too. To right where and how everyone fakes it, forces a quality of fact cheap nature. Well, I don't know about that, but they're going to speak anyway. They're not going to, as styles, as delusions raw, then makes it sound like we're calling them a name. We have to deal with the actual facts. You guys want to need to keep debates about things that are broad and seem to be debatable. We have black people's whites of eyes. And that teaches us about difference because we have the same color eyes, different color eyes at the same time. And that teaches us about difference. Who denies that? It teaches us about difference better than we've been having it taught to us. We'll have demonstrations of the same thing, inherent to it, active to it, progressive to their logic. So all kinds of ways people already recorded themselves honest, criminally pretending they believe that because people have are doctors or because people have a degree or whatever, like because they have readings of statutes to give the benefit of the doubt at the last second, though, to people based on their degree, etc. So they've been saying and changing and faking, breaking laws online and at locations to bring things before in courts they know they have collusions with. A Peruta family is one of the Russian families. I don't know the other names of them. There are Russian families involved with the Leahy family and with judges like a Judge Killian involved with sexual and medical offenders. And while tactically delusions raw, speaking fake things in databases and sequence shifts. You got to get them on paper, Judge Napolitano. You got to follow mandated law for the branch of the government. Please. Please, Mr. Celente, who disbelieves?